just open up the meeting and then I'll call 163 midnight. Sure. So I'll swear you Good morning, everybody. It is 9:10 a.m. on Wednesday, February 5th. I'm opening the meeting of the Syracuse Board of Assessment Review. And just as a little housekeeping reminder, these meetings are recorded and videoed, so you can go back on YouTube. Michelle has the address or what have you as far as that's concerned. Yeah, and if anybody wants that, just ask her, and then you can view any meeting. It's done every day. So with that, let's start off with 161-63 Rig Ave and Tyson Place. Yes, so if you want to just come on up and sit down, and I will swear you in, and we'll take it from there. If you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Mike Malosky.
You affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you.
Yes, I do.
Okay, very good. So once again, you're here for one property?
Yeah, one property.
161-63 Rig Ave and Tyson Place.
Yes.
And let me just read in a little information. So it's a one-family residence?
Two-family.
It's a two-family residence. And it says, thank you, it says family-owned house. Do you live there?
It's a family-owned house, yeah.
Okay.
It's titled in Tyson Management LLC. I live on the upstairs. The downstairs is vacant. The downstairs is totally, needs tons of work.
All right, so before you get into that, let me just read some numbers. We've got a current tentative assessed value of $88,000 with a land value of $12,000. And petitioner believes the fair market value is $70,000, which would be an assessed value of $40,250.
I was looking at this. I don't think that's right. I think I wanted to have the assessed value at 70.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I misheard you. I apologize.
Nope, you didn't. Okay, so and that's what we want to do is take care of that right now. On the form, it says market value of $70,000, but you believe that that's the assessed value.
Yeah, I think the assessed value should be 70 instead of 88.
Okay, yep, that's fine. And what is that?
121,739.
121,739 would be the equatable market value. Okay, so we're all set there. Okay, and talking in terms of assessment then, current tentative 88,000, you believe the assessment 70,000, and let me just look here. What else can I say? I have checkoff here on purchase price of property. What does that mean?
It's been in the family for 10, 12 years. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, what was the purchase price at that time?
I think it was 65,000.
79,000.
Oh, I'm just going off my record.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
79,000. Okay.
That was, and it transferred between then for $1, I'm assuming, into the LLC
okay.
from,
Okay.
You know what year that was?
it was like 2012.
Okay. Okay, so let me turn it over to you then, because it doesn't look like there's any. So basically, all I have in here, I'm assuming that you have some information that you're going to give us.
Yeah, they raised the assessment in 2022 from 65,000 to 80,000. And then they raised it this year from 80 to 88. I never contested the other one. I didn't even realize it went up. That's my fault. I didn't have a chance to contest it, but this increase I did want to contest because I feel that it's just too much of a raise in a short period of time. And the properties, it needs a ton of work. I mean, it's on fuses still. I mean, that's the downstairs. I took some pictures.
Yeah,
It's
let's take a
rough.
look at those pictures. So again, you said that you live upstairs.
Yeah, I live
What
upstairs.
size apartment is that?
It's a two-bedroom,
2-bedroom, 1 bath?
one bath, yeah, just
How many rooms?
2 bedrooms, 1 bath. You know, living
Living room.
kitchen, yeah,
Dining room?
yeah,
Fireplace?
no fireplace.
Okay. So is the downstairs pretty much the same as far as
Same
square
setup,
footage?
exactly the same setup, but it's rough.
Okay.
It's not livable anymore.
And how long has it been that way?
About 5 years.
Okay. So you had a tenant down there?
Yeah, they rocked the place.
Okay. And you've decided, are you going to renovate it or?
Maybe eventually.
Okay.
Not right away, though.
And why? Well, it's been 5 years, so certainly it hasn't been right away.
Yeah, it hasn't been right away. But I mean, I could show you some of the damage. I mean, if you want to take a look at it.
Yeah. That, I'm more concerned with, well, what is your plan for,
Actually, to fix it up,
and what does eventually mean from a time frame standpoint?
probably within 18 months.
Okay. And any explanation as to why it sat for 5 years?
Mostly because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
I really didn't want anybody living under me with COVID,
Right, but how about the renovations?
Oh, I just never got to it.
All right, so we got some pictures of the interior. What did it rent for when it was rented?
This was before everything got escalated. It was 600. Yeah, that's probably not accurate now. I mean, considering everything went up after COVID, but
Yeah, no, the rents were
things
crazy,
like doubled.
crazy. Okay, and this was in your family?
Yeah.
And then was an appraisal done at that time of the 79,000?
Yeah,
It was appraised and they did it correctly as far as turning it over to you. Okay, so we got some pictures if you guys want to take a peek. And anything else you want to submit?
Oh, that was just it. And
Okay, so we think that it's going to take around 18 months to get the apartment in order. And obviously, we're not going to mess with it unfinished because you're living there. So, Joe, let me,
Yeah, this was part of a neighborhood review. The values over in Eastwood over the last 4 or 5 years have exploded. Even considering the one unit's not livable, without verifying that, I wouldn't recommend we're comfortable with where the assessment is. I mean, even if the unit wasn't livable, it's still a 2-family in a rather desirable area. I mean, the sales are pretty strong over there.
yeah.
it's got fuse box.
I mean, this city housing stock all has similar issues that, you know,
Yeah, you pointed that out. I got the
Difficult
pictures.
even getting home insurance on it because there's very few companies that'll write for the fuse boxes.
Well, that is a concern, certainly. Have you gotten any estimate as far as changing it over to circuit breaker?
Last time I looked, it was gonna be thousands of dollars.
It would be.
Yeah, that's the last I looked. This was a while ago I looked into it. And that kind of deterred me from doing it.
Okay. I
I mean,
just
they
want,
raised me 20, it was like a 23% increase in 2022, and now it's another 10% this year, so I was figured like, I feel it's worth probably about 70,000 assessment, because it was assessed at 60 before.
okay. And that was, so you think the property's worth about 120,000?
I'd say about that.
Okay.
And the condition it is and the work it,
Oh,
sorry about that.
Speak to it, into it. I got
Is that better?
It should be.
Yeah, you can push it forward a little bit more if you want, towards you.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. Just confirming some numbers here. I'm just updating the sheet here. Okay. And then, okay, so Joe, your recommendation is that, are you the one that reviewed? Okay. So your recommendation is the 70,000, I'm sorry, the 88,000 assessed value. Submitted some comps that we'll take a look at. Okay. All right. So I think we've got enough information from you. Anything else you want to add?
Just appreciate you taking the time to hear me out.
Okay. No, I appreciate that, and we will go over everything, and the city will send you a letter first week of April.
Sounds good.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for coming in.
Appreciate your time.
Yes,
Take care.
appreciate you coming in. Good. Okay, that sounds good. Looks like next up we have is 449 Buckingham Avenue. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Just one property? Okay. I'll just swear you in if you can raise your right hand. State your name for the record.
Imani Cooper.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 449 Buckingham Avenue. Let me just read some information in here. This is owner-occupied, single-family?
Yes.
And you live there?
Yes.
Okay. So, we have a current tentative assessed value of 150,000 with a land value of 16,200. Okay. So, you're claiming the assessed value, I assume? No.
No, I'm here about my property tax code. It was changed from 210 residential to 418 in a lodge.
Oh, okay. All right. So all right. So, because there was nothing here as far as assessed value is concerned. So you're not contesting assessed value, you're contesting the classification of your property?
Yes.
Okay. So it was zone 210, which is residential. When did it change? Did you
For
receive a
2020.
notice or something?
No, I didn't. So that's why I'm confused because I didn't get any notice or no one like emailed me or stopped by to verify before they changed. And I just seen it myself when I receive my new tax bill, and yeah, so that's why I came to the office. I did talk to Ann to ask her why did my code changed, and she gave me some answer because I do have roommates, that it is a room and boarding, so that's why she changed the code. So I don't know if you have the other documents that I submitted, because there's a lot of houses in the area, especially in the university neighborhood, that also rent the houses by the rooms. But when I looked up those houses, their code was not changed to Inn and Lodge, and I'm sure they've been here years before I got here, and mine was changed within less than 3 months.
All right. So you had that information?
Which
Oh,
do
do
you
I
need?
have it
Yep.
also?
So
Okay.
you'll see that in the year of 2024, for example, 514 to 16 Clarendon was a 220 two-family residential. I also put the listing that they are renting 600 per bedroom, but when I look up there, I don't know, I use this, so I don't know what this is called, but it shows me. So it never been changed to 418, but they are renting the rooms. So that's one example to question why it wasn't changed.
That's something you could submit?
Mhm,
Or
I
is
think-
that's
yep,
already in here?
it's already in there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, fair
So
enough.
that was one. Another one, for example, is a company called University Hill Apartments, to where they have the logo on the building to let you know that how many rooms is in the house to be rented per person on their website, and they also use other third-party websites like Zillow or Realtor.com. It says $625 per person, but when you pull up their actual like tax bill or whatever, to see the code, it was still a 210 one-family residential. So all in all, overall, my question was just, how did my home that I live in, because I have roommates, was recoded to 418 in the lodge? But I'm showing you all multiple other houses that's in my area, and the owners don't live there, and they rent it out the same way, but they're still being coded as a family residential. So it did not increase their taxes. My taxes increased because now I'm being charged commercial fees. So for example, the sidewalk as a residential fee, I think it was 40, but it went up to 180.
Okay, all right. So do we have any guidance on why this was changed?
As we become aware of houses that are rented by the bedroom in the city, we change them to a classification code that's a commercial classification code 418 versus a residential, particularly over in like SU areas, the primary area where we noticed this. So we've been changing them as we become aware of particular properties that are running by the bedroom. We change them. We'll acknowledge that there's probably some out there that we don't have classified as,
Still
but as we
working
become
on
aware,
that.
we change them. Ms. Cooper gave us plenty when we talked, 6 months ago, and we reviewed them and changed the ones that we could verify that were 418, or, rented by the bedroom.
Okay.
The issue is, I don't necessarily think, and I don't want to speak for Ms. Cooper, but the issue is the sidewalk charge. The residential fee versus the commercial fee is different. So it's not really something we have control over. And the property classification is determined by real property tax law and how we apply that to the properties in the city. And it's, in our opinion, based on our knowledge of the real property tax law and the property class codes, that properties that are rented by the bedroom are rooming houses or boarding houses, similar to an apartment or, 411, which would also be a commercial building. And that's kind of how we've established that policy of changing houses, because it best fits into that 418 classification code.
Okay. So you are in fact renting the rooms?
I have roommates, I live there. So I think it should be a difference if I had a company and I bought houses and then I rented the rooms out and I don't even live nowhere near, then I can understand you changing it to a 418 and charging me commercial fees. But I live there and I have roommates. So I don't think if I bought a house and I had extra rooms and I wanted to rent out my extra rooms, that you should charge me commercial fees because I live there. Now, if I moved out, that would be different because I would make more money. But then I also bought it required me to bring a profit and loss statement. So I brought my spreadsheet to show you all that my total expenses, and then when you bring in the total income, I actually lose. So I don't see why you're charging me commercially as if I'm making a large profit off of it.
Okay. you bring up a point as far as living there. So, is the only difference in the tax situation the sidewalk issue?
Yeah, so anything that's charged, I would get the commercial charge. So yes, so on my old bill, it was residential SC sidewalk, and I think the max for that is what, $60 or $80? Whatever.
It's either going to be 80 or 100 this year, but
Okay,
yeah.
and then for commercial, I think the max was 300 or more.
Yeah, I think it's but over the 5 years since the council adopted that ordinance, it's gradually gone up. It'll max out at 100 on residential to 300 on commercial.
So yeah,
And,
that's my issue.
and does that pay for the shoveling, or is that just
It's a sidewalk program, so the
sidewalk
cities-
program? So if they
cities ma-
determine that everybody pays, and then if they determine needs to be
they've
replaced?
been replacing sidewalks over the last few
Okay,
years.
but it has nothing to do with the shoveling and what have you?
I don't know the details.
Okay.
I know they're shoveling. So I don't know if it comes out of that fund or not. I'm not.
Okay,
I don't
all
know.
right. And
Yeah.
does the city shovel your sidewalk?
No,
Okay,
they just plow the streets.
what's that?
They just plow the streets.
Yep, okay. And again, just last question to confirm, your issue is the change in classification, but it affected just your sidewalk charge.
Yep, that's the only one
Everything
that's
else
commercial.
is the same? Okay. And the difference is $100 or $200 or what have you?
It'll
from
be
residential
It'll
to
be eventually
commercial.
when the program phased in fully. It'll be $200 difference.
Okay. How did you acquire your roommates?
I listed, so I can use
Okay, so
Zillow.
All right, so
I
it's
can
not,
use Roomies. I can use Front College Pads. I can use whatever. I can use Marketplace.
okay, so it's not, and I'm not making a determination, I'm just, so these are not people that you knew prior to or what have you, it's actually an advertisement type thing. So you're kind of, treating it as a business?
I like to keep it formal, just because sometimes as a private landlord, people think that they have a little bit more leeway. So I do keep it very formal. So yep, I have them sign a lease. I make them pay on a portal. But yep, just in case I have to evict, because the laws here are pretty different. So I like to keep everything tracked and formal. So it's easy if no one is paying, I can have them moved out.
Okay, so it's kind of a gray area.
I don't
You
think it's
live
great. I think I
there.
live there, so you should not be charging me commercial. If I didn't live there and it was a strict business, and I actually did filed my taxes as a business, that's different. I wouldn't have no complaint. But I live there.
Everything's under personal. Okay. What you say? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
And
all
what
right.
really bothered me, I'm gonna just put the last part in, is that I questioned how did you all come about my house? Because as I explained, I moved here in September 2023, and by 2024, it was already changed. So within that short period, you were able to come about my house. But as I showed you all of the other listings, these are companies that have been here for years, and they have, the logos on the house, and you claim that you never seen those to change their codes until I emailed it to you, and then you changed it for the year of 2025. The one thing that stood out on everyone else's tax whatever bill is that they don't have any exemptions. So what I feel is that when I put my veteran exemption in, it made you go and look up my house, and that's how you came about it so fast, because for some sort of reason you could not find any of the other homes that's been here for years, renting by the rooms.
Okay, let me just clarify something. This is an independent board, right? So we take your information as
Okay.
the homeowner, we take the city's information, so.
I just wanted to
Would-
point that out to make sure it's not any discrimination.
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. But I just want you to know, when you say you, it's not us, we didn't.
Well,
search-
whoever works
search
in the
out your
assessment
house.
department.
Right. Okay, anybody else have any other questions? But no, good points, stuff that we have to discuss, and I think get some clarification from Corporation Counsel and some other things. But I think the city has some good points as well as yourself. So I don't know, it's not cut and dry the way I see it. So we'll have to discuss and you know, make the best possible decision on all the information that you've provided as well as the city.
Okay.
Okay, and then the city will send you, the assessment office will send you a notice first week of April.
Okay.
But I appreciate you coming in, and I hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good
thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, thank you. This I will take. Yeah.
Oh, you gave it?
Yeah, well, she took them, yeah. Hello there. How are you? Good. I have a funny story for you because I still owe you a 40th retirement acknowledgement. It's been on my mind, and I knew she was retired. Yeah. I knew that now that I'm back in action and downtown, I will follow through, but it's a funny story that you may or may not know about. Okay, 318 Berkeley Drive. How are you, sir?
Good. Bill Horace.
Yes.
Residential property.
Yeah, I'm going to swear you in and read some information in, and then we'll turn it over to yourself. Okay, and you're here for 318 Berkeley Drive.
Correct.
Okay, can you raise your right hand? State your name for the record.
William Horace.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
Thank you. I've adjusted that this year, so I have to think about what I'm saying. Okay, so we have 318 Berkeley Drive, and let me just get the application. Yes. Actually, I do, and is Joe going to be back up?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, because I forgot to, thank you for that. Ann, if you want to raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Ann Gallagher.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth? Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you? And if Joe's not coming up, if he can come up, and we'll swear him in for the day.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think he's coming back.
Okay.
You swore him in.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. I'll just step out here and clear my head and, okay, so anyway, I apologize. 318 Berkeley Drive. Is this a single-family residence?
Yes.
Okay. And do you live there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we have a current tentative assessed value of $275,000 with a land value of $21,700. And let's see here. The petitioner believes the fair market value is $265,000. That's correct? Okay.
That's the
The
assessment.
assessed value.
Value,
the
that's the
assessed
assessed value, 265, and that would bring it to 468.70 as far as market value is concerned. Okay. Let me just make a note of this. Okay, let me just look for a little more information here. No purchase price. Okay, so I've got the petition, and I've got some information, looks like you supplied as far as assessed values. So let me turn it over to you, and then we'll ask Ann for some feedback, and then I'll come back to you.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
So I collected data on 20 properties on the 300 block of Berkeley Drive. and they're listed in the table that you see there in order of the address. That's the first column. The second column has their tentative assessments, and the third column has their current assessments, and then you can see the difference I calculated. In the fourth column, the fifth column is the percentage, and you can see it's just, I have one of the highest assessment differences and one of the highest percent increases. So I took all the data and I did a simple regression of the tentative assessment on the 2004 assessment. And I got a slope value of 0.90, so for every dollar of assessment. In 2024, we're going to add 0.9 we're going to add 90 cents, and then add to that the intercept of 45,420, and I come up with a predicted value of 265 as opposed to 275. So I'm requesting a $10,000 decrease in the tentative assessment.
Okay, which doesn't sound unreasonable on the surface, but I'm looking at your analysis, and am I correct that your percent change was 12.7?
Correct.
Okay. It's not really one of the highest, it's not in the category of the highest as far as what I'm looking closely, but what more jumps out at me is the average is 11.7. You're at 12.7.
Yeah. Which is high.
Well, it's 1 point high. I see somebody at 316 got raised almost 25%.
Yeah, that was a really high assessment.
Yeah, and 326, 22.5%.
Yeah.
334, 18.9%.
I'm certainly above the average. There are those that are below the average, but
Yeah, you're slightly above the average. Okay.
so, you know, by lowering it $10,000, you're bringing me closer to the average.
Okay. Ann?
I did it, I'm gonna just address the market value. The market value up on Berkeley, a couple doors down, just, sold for 500,000. So I'm bringing them closer to, as far as I'm concerned, where they should be. I have a bunch of sales up there. Actually, all of these are on Berkeley. Some of them are a lot smaller. This house happens to be, 3,500, almost 3,600 square feet. So I will give you these. 10,000 is not a big difference. I'll leave that up to the board's discretion. But here's a bunch of sales.
Is there anything that you can point out that's derogatory as far as the house is concerned?
Well, that neighborhood, the houses have been moving slowly in that neighborhood recently. We had a house for sale. It sat on the market for like a year, empty. My house is right on the corner of Acorn Path and Berkeley Drive, and there's a stop sign there, and nobody stops at that stop sign. It's a very dangerous neighborhood. We recently had somebody move in 2 houses down. They had a young kid. I said, "You got to be careful with your kids out here. The students drive through here like maniacs and don't stop at the stop sign." So it's just not a very safe neighborhood. I moved into the city 10 years ago for lower taxes. And, now I have an incentive to move back out into the suburbs. Maybe I'll hold on to the house and turn it into a rental property. I don't know. Maybe we can get some fraternity boys living
Yeah.
in it. Incentivize me to stay and make the residents and the neighborhood more stable.
Well, we are
Don't
gonna do a
push me out.
citywide reval, so that'll equal everybody out.
What's the status on that?
We will to pick the company probably in the next couple weeks. And then they'll start with the inventory. That'll take probably a year. And then the value side of it will take another year. So probably by 28, the tax year 28, we'll have a total city reassessment. That's the plan.
Is that, and I just wanted to ask this question, will that, will the new assessments come out staggered or all at once?
All at once,
All
yes.
at once, interesting. In 2028 is what you're thinking?
Yeah,
roughly.
probably about that. Yep, depending on company, which we haven't got that far yet, but it'll hopefully be by the summertime.
Okay. All right, thank you for that clarification. Anything else you want to add? I understand your position, and I appreciate the work that you did here as far as the chart is concerned.
Well, you know, as you stated, $10,000 isn't that much, so please, let's err on the side of the citizens.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Anybody? Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much for coming in. The city will send you a notice first week of April.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello there. Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Enjoy today.
Yes, I hear that,
The next two are together.
oh, next two are together, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I think she said tomorrow was gonna be light and then, maybe not.
Tomorrow's in Friday.
Oh, okay, must have changed from the other day. Okay, 123 Windsor Place and Berkeley Drive. And then 114 Windsor Place. How are you? How are you?
I'm bearing gifts.
Oh, all right.
Well, first I'll give you all a ruler because I think you'll find it easier to follow the data.
Okay, let me, thank you for that. Let me swear you in and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you're going to tell us how to use the ruler.
Yes, I will.
As long as you don't hit us with it, that's all we're asking. If you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Kathleen Boudreau.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I do.
Okay, thank you. So you have two properties, 123 Windsor Place, 114 Windsor. Any particular order?
We'll start with 123. I guess that's the one that was signed for 9:30. I'll give you each one of these.
Yep, that's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Your rulers. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay.
Nice paper. Wow, that was Staples.
Okay, let me read in 123 Windsor Place, as you said you wanted to start off with that. And I'm going to use your ruler. Okay. So we have a single-family residence. Is this, do you live there?
No, I'm representing Carla Diaz and Peter Calver.
Okay. Let me just read in a little more information here.
Is that, excuse me, just to make sure that's designated on the back?
Let's take a
Yes,
look.
it is, and it's signed.
Yes. Yep,
By both property owners.
yes. I only see one, but I think that's sufficient.
One owner, right.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
The owner actually was going to come with me today, but her daughter came down with COVID yesterday, so I said, please,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
stay away.
Good idea. And what's your capacity to the owners?
Well, I'm a New York State broker. I'm a resident of the city of Syracuse, and more noteworthy is I'm a resident of this neighborhood.
Okay, let me read some numbers in.
Okay.
So we had a current tentative assessment of $265,000 with a land value of $21,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $355,244, which would be an equatable assessed value of $204,265. And I just want to see what we have here. We have the petition. We've got some information and some information. Okay.
I'll give you all these photographs too.
Okay,
when I'm done.
excellent. Yeah, the more you can give us, the better, and I will turn it over to you.
Well, as I said, I'm a New York State broker. I have 40 years of real estate experience in residential, commercial, and currently just in investing. I've done assessment appeals in many towns in Onondaga County and in 3 states. First, I want to state for the record, I believe in property taxes. I like what they provide. I like the police, the libraries, the lighting, the road repair. I'm not going to discuss the snow removal because Windsor is often neglected. We go days sometimes without being plowed. So that's an argument for a different day. But I believe all property owners should pay their fair share of taxes and therefore must be assessed fairly. Case in point is I live on Windsor, and my assessment has tripled in the 10 years that I've been there. And it has increased $35,000 just in 2025. There was a reval, it appears, of the entire neighborhood. I'm not disputing my own assessment because I believe it is fair based on the data that I've compiled. The assessment review for 123 is totally based on data. It's all taken from the Department of Finance Office of Real Property website, and the data is compiled on the sheet, and I'll explain what these different columns mean. The light green is the inventory page from the assessment file. The light yellow here is from the first page, which is the land assessment, the full market value, and the lot dimensions. The worksheet automatically deducts the land from the full assessment to come up with a building assessment. The darker green column here is the land per square foot. What the worksheet does is it takes the actual sizes of all of the lots and equates them into a square footage. And then based on the land value that the assessor has given, we come up with a land value per square foot. The last darker yellow column is the average, is the per square foot value of the buildings.
Okay.
Okay. I have included some on Berkeley Drive because of their close proximity to the property. One is only about 200 feet away. The name recognition of Berkeley Drive is like people, you know, in Skaneateles wanting to buy in zip code 13152 so they can say they live in Skaneateles. Berkeley Drive has a prestige that Windsor Place doesn't have. It also has, you know, the median down the middle, and it's beautiful. Yet the properties on Berkeley are assessed at a lower per square foot than most of the Windsor properties. In fact, 313 Windsor Place, this is a very noteworthy property, is 50% less per square foot value to Peter and Carla's property.
313 Berkeley?
313 Berkeley. That's where the ruler might help you, is if you...
Yeah, no, you had said Windsor Place, and that's...
Oh, I'm sorry,
I just wanted to
313
clarify.
Berkeley,
Okay.
yeah, is 50% less per square foot at $54.74 per square foot. And the property at 123 Windsor is $102.53 per square foot. That's significant. And they're only 200 feet apart. The mansion at 100 Windsor Place has a lot that's $63,500 or 98 cents per square foot, when 123 Windsor Place has a value of $2.89 per square foot, or almost 3 times the per square foot value. And I understand that, you know, there's usually a base price for the average lot, and then the remaining property is add-on property. But the property at 100 Windsor is actually 5 lots, and it's extraordinary. And as a broker, I know somebody would pay significantly more for 100 Windsor Place for its privacy, its grand entrance, the circular driveway, and the ability to have a large pool, an outdoor kitchen, and a separate play area for the children. If the structures at both 100 Windsor and 123 burned down, the lots would be sold off, and Peter and Carla's lot would be a fraction of what the lot at 100 Windsor would sell for. That would sell for in excess of $200,000, the lot alone.
Yeah, hence the purchase price of 738,000 versus 272. So it's not, you know, it's not comparable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the level of finish on it is comparable because Peter and Carla have not made any improvements to their property except for a roof in 2017. But that's maintenance. That's not really an improvement to the property. They also purchased this property at the peak of the 2006, 2007, just before the crash of 2008. So they were at a higher value for the houses that followed. 123 Windsor is not requesting an unreasonable reduction in the assessed value, nor is it asking to be below the average. They're just asking to be the average for the neighborhood. So if you look on the second page of this, it shows that the average for Windsor Place is $2.55 per square foot on the land and $78 for the buildings.
Okay. And you said that they're not, they're looking for a considerable reduction.
Yeah, well, they have been, they tried to appeal it 2 years ago and were, I believe, unprepared in coming before the board. They just didn't have the data to make that argument. But to give you an idea, this is a chart, and I've included a chart in each of yours. These are all the properties that I listed on page 1. This is Peter and Carla's house. It really stands above all of the other properties.
It's a chart of what?
These are all the houses, and this is the building per square foot
Oh, okay.
for all the houses on page 1.
Okay.
313 Berkeley is the one that I discussed earlier that is 50% less than what Peter and Carla's house is. Okay.
More than 10 minutes? Yeah, 2
Well, I'll be a
properties.
lot less on the next one because it'll be the same worksheet and everything else.
Okay.
So we are just looking to go with the average. The land at 254 square foot equates to $18,913. The building at $78 a square foot is $185,250 for a total assessment of $204,163, which equates to a market value with the equalization rate of $355,244. And this falls in line with the most recent sale on Windsor Place at 123, which just sold for $250,000. It was discounted because it needed a $50,000 roof. So that house equates to a $300 market value, and they're just asking for $355,244.
Okay. Let me just make a note here. Okay. Great information, obviously. we've got to take some time to go through
Oh, I know.
everything.
It's gonna,
But-
it'll take a
but-
lot to digest.
Yeah, no,
These
but
are
that's-
the properties, or this is the property. One of the things I wanted to point out is that 123 Windsor, because of where it's located on this curve of Berkeley here, and because it extends a little bit beyond Windsor, it gets the headlights of the cars going both east and west. When they come around this curve, the lights go right into their living room. When they come down Berkeley, the lights go right into their living room. So I would argue that that also discounts it, but I'm just asking for the average on that. I'll leave these with you as well. This shows the lot with the curve. This is 313 Berkeley. That is half the per square foot value of. And if you look at 100 Windsor, you can still pull up the pictures online. The level of finish on that house is extraordinary. And 123, they haven't done anything to the house. It has the original kitchen, original bathrooms. I asked them to take pictures, and they gave me pictures of the outside to show that they don't have a backyard because of, in the back here is the access for these properties on Ackerman. So the way the house is situated, the garage is there, but they have a side yard, so they don't have really a backyard. So this illustrates that they don't really have a, I'll leave these with you. And this is 313 from the, kind of an aerial shot showing that this one is at $54 a square foot when Carla and Peter are one over 100. So these are other houses on the street. And
Which is great, but I will say that it would have been nice if they included some interior pictures based on the fact that kitchen and baths are original, is what you're saying.
Right, they are.
So, I mean, why wouldn't they have?
I don't know, because it was a mess. You know, I don't know if that's.
Yeah, but that would have helped. Okay, fair enough. Ann?
I'll leave these with you.
The economies of scale has to be taken into consideration because 123 is 2,300 square feet, plus or minus. 313 Berkeley is 4,100. It's the economies of scale as far as price per square foot is going to be different because it's big, you know, it's smaller. With that being said, I will just, again, I'm going to go by market value. I'll have a chance to look over this list also. But as far as you know, market value, it is one of the smaller houses up there. I'm not going to argue that. Again, the economies of scale, the per square foot is going to end up being higher anyways. But if you put this on the market,
I believe it would be around $355.
you know,
Based on original kitchen and original bathrooms. It has not been updated. You know, most of the homes on Windsor have new kitchens and have had some bathrooms updated, but they have not.
what about 110 Berkeley? Do we know if that's ever been remodeled? Because that just went, you know, 8 months ago for $465,000.
You can see in the pictures that are online that it was considerably remodeled. It has new kitchens. It's also extraordinary. It's an extraordinary home. But the house on 123 Windsor is of similar level of finish as 123 to 103, which just sold for $250,000, but needed a
When
roof.
did that sell?
September of '24.
I don't know.
It's on the tax files.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming we didn't call it a arm's length sale because if it needs work, I believe I looked at those pictures online and it was in tough shape.
Yeah, and so is 123.
All right. I think with the great information, and I appreciate you doing the legwork, I am going to give you back your ruler.
Oh, no,
But
I've
then-
got another property.
The rulers needed for?
Yes, it's the same worksheet, if you want to look at
Okay,
it.
sure. No problem.
It's the same charts and everything. There's some few different,
Okay, so let me read this one in. 114 Windsor Place. It is a single-family residence. It is current tentative assessment of $220,000 with a land value of $25,500. We have, petitioner believes the fair market value is $318,785, and that's at a assessed value of $183,301. Just to further look through and see, okay, nothing additional as far as information and on the petition, and then we do have authorization to present. It looks like you live next door to this property?
I do, they're my dear neighbors. Yeah, they're considered the senior people there because they've lived there for 32 years, and the neighborhood has turned over quite a few times in a couple of houses since they moved in.
Okay.
Ronald was with the SU Law School IT department, and Alice was a patient advocate for the mentally handicapped. So they're just really good people. They were reluctant to have me come and appear before you because Ronald came here 2 years ago to appeal his assessment, and as a result, he felt the assessment went up, and he hadn't had an increase in his assessment for years. So he was a little afraid of reprisal if I came before you, but
You're saying he came in a couple years ago and then we raised his assessment?
yes, the following year, they raised his
We
assessment.
raised his assessment in '21 and then this year. And everybody
So
was.
everybody
Okay.
was
It's not just him.
reassessed.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
some of them were not reassessed in line with, like 313 Berkeley being at $54 a square foot. As that chart shows you, is way below everybody else. Both land, he's at $2 a square foot, but he's at $54 a square foot for the building.
Well, just let them know it's all numbers and there's
Right, that's
nothing
why
to do with
I told him, I said, it's all
targeting or
data.
anything. Yeah.
It's all data.
Okay.
Okay,
I do remember what he looks like, though, to tell you the truth. And,
Okay.
I didn't really like him.
oh, you did? He's
Just
a
kidding.
nice man.
Just kidding.
If you can remember that,
Pretty good, huh? I must have really hated him. No, so anyway, that neither here nor there. It's all the numbers to us, and we just try to do the best we can. So there's just let them know, no reprisal or
Okay.
anything like that. Check his mail next year, though.
Well, and I told him, we were reassessed this year. We went up 35,000. And I'm not disputing that, because based on the numbers, it's fair. It's in line
Yeah.
with the average.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue that, even though I would love to.
Sure,
But
sure.
in their case, they are a little higher than most of the people in the neighborhood. And again, their house is a simple house. It's, in fact, it's the smallest house in the whole Berkeley district. And one of the arguments that he was given last time was, you're the lowest assessment. Well, it should be the lowest assessment. It's the smallest house. So the other thing that he was told, that it was the same assessment that he had for many years. And I would argue that that means that he was over-assessed and therefore overpaid in taxes for many years. He should have been more in line. And he wasn't disputing past years, he was just disputing from this point forward, let's be in line with everybody else.
Good point.
Okay, so
Yeah, let me see what Ann has to say, and,
I'm just going to give you basically the same argument, the economies of scale. There's a couple that are smaller, but again, he did, he was reassessed twice in 5 years.
1.2 to make on his particular property is he doesn't have a garage. He has an attached shed. It's not even tall enough to put a car into, so we consider it a shed. But every house on Windsor has at least a garage. 313 has a two-car attached garage. 100 Windsor has a two-car attached garage, which in this climate, I would argue, is of higher value than a detached.
sure, excuse me for 1 second. What do you have as far as inventory on that? Do you have a full-blown
I
garage?
don't have a square, no, because this just says attached, it says square feet of 12. So I'm going to assume that's going to, not a garage, that it's the shed, but I will
It's the shed.
verify, I will verify that.
Right. It is a shed. So they don't have a garage. And I think that significantly impacts the value.
I'm glad you pointed that out, and I just want to make a note of that.
You know, they're 2 doors down from 100 Windsor, and yes, that's the mansion, and it is extraordinary, and it is of a different value. But it's 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 7 fireplaces. Yeah, it's quite a big property, and that's only, just drawing a blank here. Yeah, that's at $67 per square foot, and Ron and Alice are at basically $91 per square foot. That's just the building.
And that we have, and we'll do an analysis on this as well.
Yeah.
But good information, yes, very much so.
So here are the photos for the area. I've made some notes on them, so you can have those as well.
Excellent. No, very thorough. Absolutely appreciate all of that, and we'll take our time with this. Anything else you want to add, Ann? Okay. Excellent. And, let me give this back.
Oh, you can keep those. You may need them for other
Sure?
There's not going to be too many as,
You'll remember me
yes,
then,
yes.
right?
If we do need them, it's going to be a long meeting, I'm sure. But thank you for that. And,
Parting gifts.
Yes, and not going to get you any brownie points, but that's
No,
okay. I
right,
guess.
no.
But no, I appreciate great analysis. Few come in like this, and it's very helpful, certainly, to make your point. So we will review everything, and then the city will send out a couple of notices first week of April.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, again, thank you very much for coming in, and thank your homeowners as well.
Well, thank you for your time. Good luck.
Thanks.
today's the first day we'll probably need it. Yeah.
Oh, so you're kind of green right now.
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't get you at the end of the day.
Want to call Joe? Or you want me to call him? Might do it, I don't have to say.
She took her a little bit to smile.
Right.
These two are Joe's properties.
Yep.
As usual.
Yeah,
I will take those previous two.
these previous two. Yeah, do you mind if I just kind of, you mind giving that to me or making a copy? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, everything's good.
It's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, we have 208 Albert Road. Okay, you want to come on up here?
Good morning.
Perfect. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm fine, thanks. Just had cataract eye surgery
Oh, all
yesterday,
right.
so
Okay,
blurry in the left eye.
all right, well, very good. I'm glad you came in, and I hope for a quick recovery.
Thank you.
You're here for 208 Albert Road.
Yes, 208 Albert.
Okay. Let me swear you in. If you could raise your right hand. State your name for the record.
Michael E. Nedvesky.
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Okay. Joe, I swore you in before.
No.
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't think so. Can you raise your right hand? State your name for the record.
Joseph Lesno?
Do you affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay, great. Thank you, thank you. Let me just read your information in. Once again, this is 208 Albert Road. This is a one-story ranch style with attached garage, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom residence. Do you live here?
Yes, full-time.
Okay. And so we have a current tentative assessed value of $110,000 with a land value of $19,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $90,000, which would be an equatable assessed value of $51,750. And let me just quickly look through. All we have is the petition. The property was purchased back in April 30th of 1994 for $65,000. That is it for information. We have the owner here, so let me turn it over to you. And if you can tell us why you believe the assessment should be lower,
Well,
that'd be great.
The assessment has gone up 3 times in the last 4 years. I believe it went from 87 or 77 to 87 to 110.
Okay.
Changed twice in the last 3 years. My tax went, last year, my tax was $2,919.72. With the increased assessment, my new tax is $3,858.04. That's an increase of $938.32 for 1 year. That is almost 30% increase in my tax in a 1 year span. 33%, closer to 33% increase. And I don't feel it's justified. I don't know what you think the property is worth, but it's raising the assessment from 87 to 110, plus you add on the land at 19,000? Or is that part of the 110?
It's part of the 110.
Okay, all right. But to go from 87 to 110 seems like a big, I don't know if the taxes have gone up that much, or,
Well, they feel that that's an equatable assessed value, and $110,000 assessed value, the equatable market value is 191,304.
oh, if you gave me that now, I'd sell.
Yeah, that's what they feel the property would be worth based
Wow.
on the assessed value. And you're at about 90,000. So what can you tell us about the property? Any information?
Well, it's a small ranch, 3-bedroom, no basement, it's on a slab. So the heat is radiant floor heat. So the square footage is probably less than what you guys have calculated, being that it's on a concrete slab. Currently, I have only
I
stored.
don't think they'd take the basement into consideration anyway, so it's probably, what do you got for square footage, Joe?
1375, I think it was.
Okay, that's, how many bedrooms?
3 bedrooms.
Well, that's about right.
I figured it was closer to 1,200, but square feet.
I can remeasure it if you'd like.
What's that?
It's exterior dimensions, so the outside of your house.
Oh, you're counting the garage too.
No, the garage would be collected separately. We have the garage at 240 square feet.
Oh, wasn't in the 13, so you're talking 1,500?
Well, the garage wouldn't be considered livable square footage.
Right. Oh, okay, I'm just saying.
So
as far
livable,
as the
we have livable square footage at 1375.
1375, okay. So
It's
not
basi-
including the
The
garage.
garage is basically my basement. That's where I store things. I fortunately have to
They're
park.
not, they're not counting that as livable square footage,
Okay.
not counting. But they're saying your property's has 1,375 square feet of living space, and you think it's around 1,200, but you haven't measured.
Well, I could tell you, when I had the gutters put on, they measured the house, it was 40 feet by 20 feet. Maybe it was,
800.
yeah, maybe it was, yeah, the house, let me think just a sec. Yeah, it was 20 by 50, so what's that, 2 times 5 is 1,000 square feet. Yeah, it's not even 1,200. Yeah, if
have
she
a
came out
survey
and
by
measured
chance?
it, you'd see that.
Do you have a survey by chance?
Oh, I don't have a recent one. I know the neighbors had to because they sold their house, but I don't have a recent survey, no.
May want to confirm it.
Yeah, I can remeasure it.
Would you please?
Yeah, he'll remeasure it.
I'm going to measure it from an aerial image that I have. If I need to come out and put a tape on the house, I'll give you a call.
Okay, that's no problem.
And I may do that. I may come out and put a tape on it anyway, just because we're in this.
Yeah, you'll,
Probably good, just because there's a
yeah,
wide range
you
of,
could, you could, without even having to
difference.
go to the backyard, you can get to one side of the house. If you're looking at the house from the front, the left side and the front should give you the measurements you need.
Basically a rectangle then, okay.
Yeah, it's a rectangle. Simple one peak roof, that's it.
All right, so we'll confirm the square footage. But 3 bedrooms, 1 bath?
One bath, one bath.
1 bath. It's on slab, did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. Full bath, kitchen, living room, dining room?
Oh, the living room, dining room are combined, and a separate galley kitchen, which is small, but it's just me, so it's more than enough space.
Yeah, and so hold that thought for a second. 3 times out of the last 4 years, or 2 times out of the
I
last 3 years?
can only answer for the last year. It was raised last year, 2024. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, I got it right here. It was a ladder.
I'd be interested to see.
Increasing from 77 to 87,000.
Doesn't sound right, but I'm not going to comment on without looking.
Okay, yes. Where is that letter? There is a letter that says, here it is. You just, all right, answer that. And then you went from,
So this 2022 assessment went from, it was 2021, it was 77, then up to 87 for 2022. So it was 77 in 2021 and prior?
yes,
Okay. So then in 2022 raised to 87, and then 2024 raised to 110?
yes,
Sound
you
about
are
right?
correct.
All right, so two out of the last 3 years. Pretty good increase, but, you know, I guess we'll have to dig in a little bit. I assume comps here?
Yeah, I mean, given that it's assuming that it's a 1,300, almost 1,400 square foot ranch over in this location, I'm very comfortable with the assessment. I have, all my sales are north of 200,000.
Okay.
Wow, that
Okay.
much?
Yeah. So he'll supply some comps also, but I thought given the square footage
I
and,
just want to ask one question. I see that you have the enhanced star. Have you ever looked into the senior citizens exemption?
No, I didn't know there was such a thing. I thought the star
It's-
was it.
There's another exemption available to senior citizens also based on income. So before you leave, go down to my office and ask the girls up front about it, and they'll tell you, go over it with you.
Okay.
And
that
then
would be good, yeah. So what would that help them?
depending on his income, it would be either,
I make 65,000 total a year. That's what,
then you wouldn't qualify, but you may want to look at your return.
between pension and,
Well, is it New York State pension?
yes.
So you may want to go down and talk to them.
Okay.
You may qualify.
All right.
Yeah, it's worth, we'll tell you where to go when we're done.
Okay, all
But,
right.
okay.
All right, very
yeah.
good.
We just have to, we'd have to look at your 2023 federal income tax return.
Oh, that's probably going to be even less.
Right, so that's why I'm saying,
No,
you
wait.
may think,
I just did 2024, it was 65,000.
but if,
And
I don't- yeah, I don't-
2023 was probably
but
60,000.
the way New York State pensions are taxed is different, so you may be eligible. It's a formula that we have to use based on your return. So that's why I'm saying, just go down and talk to the clerks
Your
downstairs.
office is first floor?
Yeah, or just call in when you have your return in front of you,
Yeah, you'll tell me, what room is that?
130.
Oh, room 130, okay,
Yeah.
that's where I was the other day.
Because they can give you the form, tell
Okay,
you what,
I know,
tell you
okay.
what you got to look at on your return.
All right,
Yeah, 'cause you definitely want to make sure you're getting all the exemptions that you,
yeah, I didn't know this senior, I thought it was star and enhanced star, I think,
Well, the enhanced star is a benefit. It's a step up from the basic star. It's the same program. It's just depending on age and income, whether you qualify for the enhanced star or the basic
am I
star.
getting enhanced?
You're getting the enhanced star.
Okay, that's
but there's
what
an
I
additional
thought, 'cause I had a
exemption.
bunch of papers I had to fill out.
Right, and the state, well, 2 years ago, the state increased the limit for the senior citizens exemption, and then last year, the city adopted that limit. So it's changed last year. So, and if you have a New York State pension, and you just may want to look into it, is my point.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
All right,
But that has nothing to do with us.
Okay.
We're trying to put the correct assessment on the property, so we're still going to take everything into consideration that you have said.
And I'll reach out to you and remeasure, and then I'll write a letter, submit it to the board, and I'll give you a copy as well.
I'll be very happy anytime you want to come out.
What, can you just write your phone, or you just write your phone number down for me, so you don't have to say it out loud on the camera?
Yeah. No, Dusky, and I'll put 208 Albert Road, and my number is 315 396 9559. Okay.
Yeah, so, again, anything you want to add, or
Well,
I think we're in pretty good.
This was a big bone of contention here. What happened, I paid off my note on my house, M&T. And I assumed you were gonna start sending me these tax coupons. Okay, well,
They wouldn't know.
and M&T didn't tell them, and they kept sending the tax notices, thinking it's part of my escrow,
Yeah.
to the M&T, but M&T never called me or said anything about, hey, you got to go tell them that the house is paid off and to send you the tax bill directly.
Sure.
And this went on for quite a while, and and a penalty was almost $300 and something.
Yeah.
I
Well,
tried
it's-
to-
the onus is on you, not
Well,
M&T.
nobody explained that to me.
Sure.
M&T didn't explain it. The city, I never got a notice from the city. I assume that M&T told you that I own the house outright with
Yeah.
with no more payments due.
Sure. Yeah, the only thing you could have thought of is that, if I'm not making any more payments, I'm not paying into escrow, and therefore taxes aren't getting paid. But, so unfortunately, it was a lack of communication all the way around.
It sure was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
But unfortunately, it falls on
I
the
had to bite the
homeowner.
bullet, though, yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it was a,
Yeah.
$300 penalty for not paying the taxes. And had I known, I would have paid the taxes immediately.
Sure.
And I don't feel this was justified either, but you can't fight City Hall.
Yes. No, I'm finding that out.
And I just wanted to raise that point about this delinquency on the county tax notice. And that was back in 2022. Yeah, I paid the house off in, I'm going to say, September, October 2021. And I never, nothing, until I got this nasty letter, I didn't know I had to tell you guys that, hey, I own the house now, don't send it to M&T, because M&T throws it in the trash can.
Was that the county 2022 the only bill you didn't receive?
I believe so. After, yeah, once I clarified this, and I came down, and I think it was in your room, yeah, 1:30.
You would think that both of them would have been
Well,
escrowed.
we don't have,
There
my
might have been a
office,
second letter, but
yeah,
this,
I mean, my office isn't aware of when someone pays off a mortgage.
Right.
I thought the
The
bank would tell you
payment
that.
center, typically, my understanding how that operates is the banks notify the finance or payment center that they're responsible for the bill. So usually, sometimes, like the first bill, after someone paid, there's sometimes an issue. And that's just based on my experience receiving phone calls. So if you got the July bill that in 2022, it would just lead me to believe that the January county bill that year was just a transitional time period. You know, it was just a one-time. Usually that takes care of itself when someone pays off the mortgage.
Real quick, and then we got to wrap her up. But let me
Okay,
just,
I understand.
That's okay. Hold on a second. Let's just say for county.
Yeah, I mean, without knowing, my hunch is after he paid his mortgage off in 2021, you know, it's late in the year,
Oh, yeah.
they probably, I don't know what happened, but that's just, you know, based on getting phone calls all the time about stuff like that. That's my hunch.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but, you know, really wasn't M&T's fault, but could have been a little, they got all your money, they could have been a little bit more,
Yeah, here's the receipt for
accommodating.
paying that $793.30. And I
Yeah.
paid cash. And there's my receipt.
yeah, unfortunately,
And that, I guess, and that was paid on March 3/11.
all right, well, let's do this. We'll take everything into consideration that you presented as well as the city. The city will send you a notice first week of April as far as what the decision is with respect to the assessed value. And on the way out of here, though, stop down to room 130.
Yeah.
Just have a little conversation on the senior exemption.
I will indeed.
And definitely appreciate you coming in. And Joe's going to either by computer or,
I'll probably call
and go out.
schedule and
That's probably a good idea.
just to make sure there's no.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
it's right across the street from Lemoyne College.
okay, yeah,
Upper Albert, because there's an Albert Road that runs off of East Genesee Street as well. That's the lower numbers, 100, the 100s, and 200s are up off Salt Springs Road.
all right. I think Joe will find it.
Yeah.
And then we'll get on the same page as far as the square footage. And if there is discrepancy, then we'll take that into consideration as far as the assessed value is concerned.
Okay,
All right.
understood.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for hearing me.
Yes. And I hope
Appreciate it,
you have a quick recovery with your surgery.
Yeah. I'm going to Florida March 1st. I'm planning. I don't know if if you could do this before March.
Oh, sure.
It'll be this week.
Oh, hey, that's great.
Today's Tuesday, right? Or Wednesday?
This week or-
Wednesday.
Yeah, if you're available Thursday or Friday, I'll be there.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Excellent.
Thanks again.
Thank you, sir. And have a safe trip down to Florida.
Have a good day.
You as well, thank you.
Do you know where the assessment office is?
Yeah,
How to
what's
get
her-
there? If you go down this hallway here, there's an elevator, you can just take that down and it'll be right over there. There's the restroom right over by the elevator.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, 436 Thurber. Sorry to make you wait here. We just want to get it done correctly like we will with yourself. Yes, yes, as well as you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're here for 436 Thurber Street. And if I could just swear you in, if you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Robert L. Bullock.
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability. Okay, very good, thank you. Let me just make a note here. So we have, once again, 436 Thurber Street. This is a ranch-style singles family.
Yes.
Do you reside here?
Yes.
Okay. And we have a current tentative assessed value of $90,000 with a land value of $12,400. And the petitioner believes the market value is $125,000, which would be an equatable assessed value of $71,875. And then, let's just see what we got here for, looks like in, so December of what year did you purchase?
I like to say it was 88. Yeah, so I've been there for 34.
Okay, 19, oh, okay. Because it says 2088, so, yeah,
Oh, gosh, I'm not living that.
that's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
You must
Sorry about
predict the
that.
future.
I was in a hurry.
Okay, so 1988.
4 or 5 o'clock to bring it.
Okay,
I'm sorry about that.
that's quite all right. For $68,000. And that's about it. We got a petition, we've got some notes here from the petitioner. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. Give that back. Thank you. So what can you tell us about this property? I'll peruse, yeah, so it's a single ranch style, you live there and you've been there for about 30 years. Just tell us a little bit about the property, how many bedrooms, baths?
2 bedrooms,
2 bedrooms, 1 bath,
1.5 baths.
1.5 baths, okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. And let me take a peek here. So these are some properties
Yes, in the same block.
on Thurber, same block, 400 block, with assessed values. They all look like in the same ballpark of yours. Let me just read your commentary here. You're referencing a property that's an eyesore. What's the situation with that?
Since I lived there. Yeah, it was a rental property for several years, but the owner there for the last,
What's the address of that?
440, I believe. Yeah, because it's odd, I'm 446, I think it's 438 or something, but I think it's 440. Yeah, well, just in terms of, nothing's been done on the outside. Animals are coming, skunks, squirrels, I mean, not squirrels. Skunks.
Is it vacant?
No, young lady, a person lives there.
Oh.
But she's gone a lot, and she's not a lot, because she's not from here. But
Okay.
But anyway, that's another story. But Jess and I offered, to paint the outside, to do some work. You couldn't come up with the colors,
Come paint my house.
Yeah, because I think I can't. Is it ranch style? Okay. But anyway, the offer was never, never okay. I say, well, when you figure out the color, let me know. I can do something.
Okay. All right, so we've got some assessed values. Anything about the condition of your property? You got a two-car garage, I see, and the two bedrooms, like you said. Oh, one car?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you cheated
I
again.
wish I could
You-
get a two-car garage. My wife would, she parks in there, and I can't park in there. One is bad.
All right, so we got a
Yeah,
one-car
one
garage.
car
All right. I think your wife wrote this note, I think.
garage. Okay.
She made some mistakes.
I gotta ask her about that. No, I'll leave that alone.
Okay, Joe, any,
In reviewing this one again, the increase was probably, if it was the nicest 800 square foot ranch on the street, it'd probably be worth what we have it assessed for. I would probably recommend reducing it to assessed at, 82,000 in that ballpark. I think that's pretty fair. I think that's like a 135 full market value, roughly. That would be my recommendation on this assessment. And you said you've been there a long time. Are you 65 years of age or older? You only have the basic. You only have the basic star. So
Yes.
if your adjusted gross income minus your taxable IRAs is below 107,300, you should stop by our office and register for or sign up for the Enhanced Star program. And then also, as I was talking to the gentleman before you, look into the basic or the senior citizens exemption if your adjusted gross is below 58,400. Okay, but the
still.
Enhanced Star is something you should look into, and it's about $500 saving, an additional $500.
so he's just got the regular
The
star?
basic star, yeah.
Basic star. Yeah, so at the very least,
Yes.
it's a few dollars, without question. Certainly.
Besides just, I say eyesore because one of the windows been boarded up. It's boarded up. And I boarded it because he wasn't, burglary happened there about 4 months ago. Because he wasn't in town. And so I called the let me call the police. No one's been in the house. On the back is no gate, anything. Open the door, whatever. And she said, no, she'll take care of it. He said, come out. But anyway, I put up the board. He didn't have a window. Broke in that, and he went outside. But anyway, it's still there. But anyway, says he's gonna get another window, but I'm not gonna go into that.
right next door to you?
right next door to me.
Right next door.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
you're a good neighbor,
Yeah.
certainly. Yeah, what's your question?
I'm sorry. Oh, that was just, I said ISO, because nothing on the
Ye-
outside looks
I
like a
understand.
paint job,
Yep.
basically.
Yep.
And nothing since I've been living. But
Okay.
anyway, and on the other side, there were some very good neighbors before they moved. That one, it's been a rental property, as I stated, for about 15 years at least, you know. First it was some students, and you get other folks, adults. But for 15 years, I mean, nothing was the owner, you know, about 2 or 3 different owners.
All right, so,
Anyway, nothing was done, but it's the house is fine. I don't have, you know, they had some renovations this past year. Bath, because you had about 3 people living there. I don't know about bedrooms. I have 2 bedrooms, and I think 3 of the homes have 3, 2 at least, 2 garages. Those are factors.
yeah, no, that's fine. Yes, and so, just to recap, the city had a current tentative or has a current tentative assessment of 90,000.
Right.
And then, the assessor, Joe, is recommending to us that that go down to 82,000, okay? And so, we will obviously, discuss that. You're at 71,875, call it 72,000, so not too far away, right? Almost in the middle type thing. So, you know, that's good. Again, we'll look further and see where we're at. The city's submitted some comps, and with a picture, cute little house, yeah.
The outside looks like, keep it up.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Best
no,
I can.
yep, nice landscaping, sure. So we'll look at everything, comps included, and then also your commentary. And then the city will send you a notice first week of April. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. And if I could ask you one question, did you have twin boys that went to Henninger?
Cousins.
Cousins? I think Sun Valley? Was that the
Sun Valley?
name? Yeah,
Some Valley, yeah.
that's a,
Yeah, we call it, yeah, but it wasn't his legal name. Yes, it was. We call him, you know, Shorty.
So,
But yeah,
Shorty, yeah, they were two twins, right? Could have sworn
yeah, not my, yeah, not twins.
I remember Sun Valley.
Wow, that name.
Thought there were twins.
Okay.
Bullock, you know, a common name,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, Bullock. Related, but I have so many family members.
Okay, so you're not,
No, not my.
Not
my-
yours,
my-
but
my
possibly a
sons, anything.
relation.
Right,
I was just
yeah.
curious.
Wow,
Yeah, because there's kind of a resemblance, I think.
okay.
Long time ago,
Yeah,
of course.
right,
but-
okay.
Okay, well, again, thank you very much, and the city will send you a notice first week of April, and we'll take it from there.
I worked for the city school district. I retired 38 years.
What'd you do for there?
I taught math.
Where?
Well, I taught 3 different schools. I started out at Roosevelt, which is now Danford, but, you know, changed over the time.
Of course.
Then I went to Clary. That's where I finished up.
Okay.
You may qualify for the seniors, because like I was telling the gentleman before, the New York State pension's handled differently on your return. So it might be worth letting us take a look and just seeing if you qualify.
I just need to bring that
Your 2023 return.
in. 23. Wow,
Yeah.
I see.
And time is important, you know, try to get it done this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bring it down to room 130, your tax return, and then they'll be able to determine.
Thank you.
So it's, what do? They give a little
It's for
massage
the senior
for New York
citizens, it's
State?
the non-taxable portion of your social security, your adjusted gross income, and any tax exempt interest.
Right, but what I'm saying is if you have a New York State pension.
That's just how it's calculated on the return. It's not,
Right.
so we're looking at the return, and I'm not an accountant, I'm not gonna try
Right,
to,
right.
I just, the New York State pensions
Bring it in
are
return.
handled, are taxed differently. So on the return, it doesn't show up in the adjusted gross income.
So, yeah, so that would allow you potentially to qualify. That's excellent. Good for you. My wife's a teacher, and it's a tough profession these days. When did you retire?
2010.
Good. Hey, you look
I
great.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with the kids. Coached, basketball for a number of years. So
I played football and lacrosse for Henninger, and we would take the bus every day down to Roosevelt, and that's where we practiced.
that's right.
Our coach wanted to get away from the high
Was
school.
that what's his name?
Tom Acey.
AC. Yeah, I saw him several months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him a couple
Acey, good
months
man.
ago. Good,
Good
yeah,
man.
very good man.
Yeah, we would know each other for a while.
Yes,
Since coaching.
absolutely.
But I appreciate all of you.
Yes.
And thank you, and have a beautiful day. And I
We
appreciate all that
as
you do.
well, and yes, thank you. And
No question.
again, we'll
Okay.
get back to you first week of April.
Thank you
The
very much.
city will send you those.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Have a good day.
you take care.
Yeah, just,
And that'll, that's it, Michelle? Yes. Yeah. That'll conclude today's meeting. Thank you very much.